Hello, everyone. Wish you all a very happy new year. So, let's start the year 2025 with an in depth knowledge sharing session. Our speaker for today is Jayesh Kunwal, where he will be sharing his ideas and observations on bug bounty. Jayesh is a senior cybersecurity engineer and a well celebrated bug bounty hunter. Hi, Jayesh. We are glad to have you with us today.
Yeah, hey, Alia.
So how are you, Jayesh?
I am good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good as well. Wish you a happy new year as well.
Same to you.
Yeah. So I think we are good to go. So let's get started.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Alia, for giving me this opportunity. I am really excited to talk about today's topic. All right. Hello, everyone. And welcome. Let's start with a quick introduction. As Alia already shared about me, I will keep my introduction short, so do not worry. I'm currently working as a senior cybersecurity engineer at M.Tech, and parallelly, I am a bug bounty hunter, among with the top 600 researcher on Bugcrowd, and it is has been an exciting journey so far. I have contributed to organizations like Dell, MasterCard, ExpressVPN, specializing in web application API Android, iOS security, DevSecOps, and much more. If I will talk about my academic background, I have completed my M.Tech in Network and Information Security from Pondicherry University. And if any of my batchmates are here today, so a big hello to you all. Rather than taking too much about myself, let's jump right into the topic. However, if you are curious about how I got started, the challenges I faced, what I have learned along the way, feel free to ask me during the QA and session at the end. I would be more than happy to share my story. So let's start. Um, how many of you have heard about bug bounty hunting before? What's come to your mind when you heard the term? It's about hacking, solving puzzle, or maybe earning rewards. Well, today we are going to break it down and make it exciting for everyone, whether you are completely new or you are just curious. Today we are in the right place because I'm going to share you how exactly I started doing bug bounty. And in this session, I will deep dive into the fantastic world of bug bounty hunting. We will talk about how you can turn a discover bug into a bounty step by step. From understanding the basics to selecting the right program and how to write the clear report. And you will leave with insights of kickstart your journey in the bug bounty. Um, we are going to discuss like how to choose a right program that fits to your skill and why understanding its scope is crucial. So let's begin. What exactly bug bounty is? So before we proceed, like I was curious to know how many have you like ever discovered a vulnerability in a software or maybe in a website? So let's begin with the definition actually first. Bug bounty hunting is a process to identifying security vulnerabilities in software or website or maybe in an application and reporting them to the respective organization in exchange of reward, Hall of Fame, or maybe even sometime swag. So, if you have a question, like who can become a bug bounty hunter? So, in my opinion, really anyone can become a bug bounty hunter. Like you don't need to be an expert cybersecurity professional. All it takes is curiosity, patience, and willing to learn actually. Um, One common misconception about bug bounty is like that is only for the expert, but beginners with a solid understanding of basic can do well. Believe me, you don't need to be a cybersecurity wizard to start hunting bugs with curiosity, patience, and willingness to learn. Even those are new in this field, they can also identify the vulnerabilities. Remember, like everyone, it start from somewhere. Many bug bounty hunters begin with little, with no experience, and gradually building their skill through participants and continuous learning in this field. Like it's much about dedication and like probably like solving problems. Now, let me share something related how bug bounty programs works actually. Like imagine you have found a bug in a proper website or maybe in an application. What do you think? What going to be happen next? Do you just send them a email and hope they will reward you? Well, bug bounty programs make this process streamlined and rewarding for both the hunters and the organization as well. In this session, I am going to walk you through how bug bounty program works and step by step, and we will see why these programs are a win-win for companies and ethical hackers as well. So, um, here is how it's work. Company launch a program first at the platform, like they announce it on a platform like HackerOne, Bugcrowd, or maybe in a Snake. These program acts an intermediate, listing the scope, rules, and rewards for hunters. For some platform, they runs their individual responsible disclosure program as well. Then what next? Hunters search for a bug. Once a program is live, ethical hackers like you start analyzing the application, looking for the vulnerability within the defined scope. Then report the valid bug. When a vulnerability is found, it's reported through the platform following the strict guideline. A well-written report is crucial for getting a accepted. We'll talk about it later. So, if a bug is valid, then the company will rewards you. This can range from critical severity to high severity, and the other thing what they can provide Hall of Fame or even cool, sometime cool swags. Now, let's talk about reward. It is a big part of motivation actually. Reward can be vary accordingly. Some hunters have earned thousands of dollars for a single bug. Others offer recognition, like showcase your name to their Hall of Fame. Some companies even send some swags. Now you know how bug bounty programs are working exactly. Let's dive into the skills and tools like you need to get started. So first we will cover the technical skill. First, what you need some basic technology like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to understand how website function. Some networking knowledge, learning the basics protocol like HTTP and TCP/IP to understand the flow of data, like how the data is flowing in between user and servers. So, like some familiarity with OWASP top 10, this will be your cheat sheet. Like for common vulnerabilities like SQL injection, XSS, broken authentication. So you need to have some understanding of OWASP top 10. Like from my experience, I have seen many people to get stuck because they believe they need to be master in every aspect of cybersecurity before a start. They set their goal to learn everything perfectly first. Um, but the mindset is often leads to delay and eventually giving up to their goals. So, what's the right path? um, that like Starting from building a foundation, learning the basics, and explore as much as you can. But don't wait to feel like be ready. Begin with bug bounty hunting alongside your learning journey. You no need to be master in everything before starting your bug bounty journey, to be very honest. Like you might not find bugs immediately, but this experience will teach you far more than waiting for to be perfect. Read, participate, and implement, and repeat these things. These will be the key growth in this field, in my opinion. Um, so now let's talk about which is something really equally important, which is soft skill you need. Have patience, dedication, and staying motivated yourself. Um, these are the three key soft skill which you need to have. Like first of all, patience. Like why I'm saying this? Because there will be the days, weeks, or even months when you might not find anything worth reporting. That's okay. Keep it up. Like dedication, consistency is best friend to set aside regular time to participate and improve. And remember, every efforts count. Even if you are not finding bugs today, you will you are um, building the skills that will help you to find them tomorrow. Speaking from my own experience, like there were times, especially in my early days, when I could not find anything worthy reporting. Even now as well, this is happening. Um, there are days when I am not able to find anything like that stands out as unique vulnerability, and I can report them. But by staying dedicated and motivated, I found multiple P1s vulnerability in a single day. There are some of my best days on which I got back-to-back P1 vulnerabilities. Then my name listed among top 10 on Bugcrowd. So, like the effort you put in pays off. Even it takes time to see the result. It's all about patience, dedication, and putting efforts. The rewards do come. Let's jump to the next slide. Yep, which is tools. So, like, let me give you an example, real-time example. Let's suppose, imagine you are a bike mechanic with a incredible technical knowledge about how bike works and how you can repair them. But without the right tool, like sometime torch, wrench, a chain breaker, or maybe a tire lever, you will be struggle to repair the bike effectively. The same principle applies to bug bounty hunting. You need the right tools to discover and exploit vulnerabilities. Surprisingly, many people overlook tools like Firefox Developer Edition, Chrome Dev Tools, and other browser tools as well. These tools are essential actually for gaining a deeper understanding of client-side vulnerabilities. Like especially if I'm talking about you are hunting for a client-side vulnerabilities, then this will be the important tools. They allow you to analyze client-side code, extract logic, bypass restrictions, and examine the JavaScript file effectively. So let's deep dive into this from more technical perspective. For hunting client-side vulnerabilities, it's good to analyze client-side code such as HTML, JavaScript. I want to share when I was talking about the mean of extract logic is understanding and manipulate the application workflow implemented on the client side and bypass client side checks such as input validation or access restrictions, examine JavaScript file, review JavaScript code for vulnerabilities like insecure APIs, key sensitive data exposure, or maybe sometime for logic flows as well. Common client-side vulnerabilities, including cross-site scripting, DOM-based accesses, HTML injection, iframe. So, for red teaming and bug bounty, it's crucial to familiarize yourself as many as tool you can. Familiarize yourself with the tools, as many tools as you can. It's not necessary to master in each and every, but you need to know at least their names and what they do. This knowledge can be invaluable like when you encounter any challenges. From my experience, I'm sharing. Once I learned the basics in my initial earliest days, like I dedicated even days or months or multiple days actually to learning about the various tools. I started by exploring the tools which are available on Kali Linux. I went to their official website and was going through the list of the tools, and randomly I was reading about the tools, the name and what they can do. So this helps me a lot when I am struggling somewhere or like I am having any kind of challenges. This helps me a lot. So let's jump to the another slide, which is from bug to bounty. Before you dive into findings, verifying, report, and earning rewards, the most crucial step is program selection. Choosing the right program is one of the most important part of bug bounty hunting. To do this effectively, you need to invest time in selecting program wisely. Spend as much as time it's needed, or whether it takes day, a couple of days, or even longer. Don't feel like you are wasting your time like just because you are not actively hunting or earning some rewards during this phase. But believe me, this is the fundamental step that set your tone of success. So patience is the key. Wisely, you need to spend the time for selecting the programs. Explore as many programs as you can to find the one that's aligned with your interest and skills. Start by going through the program details, program brief, including the in scope item and out scope targets. If this program excites you, then analyze its target. For example, if it is a web application, open it and check how it is function, what is the features it is providing, and how it operates. This will give you the insights into a potential vulnerability and help you to focus. We will take a closer look on how to choose a right program later on. When focusing on vulnerability, I would like to share M2, like those are less observed and go beyond common vulnerabilities. Just not like token leakage via referral header, DNS misconfiguration, lack of rate limit on forms, or maybe a sensitive data exposure via local storage or session storage. While it's fine to report such kind of vulnerabilities, but believe me, you need to be very lucky to get reward for these specific vulnerabilities. Most probably, they are founded and reported by the other researchers as well because they're widely known and easy to find. So, in my opinion, insist of this deep dive into the functionality of the target, identify unique vulnerabilities, and focus on like crafting some bypasses or checking how website is working, giving some inputs. So once you identify the vulnerability, the next step is verify it by yourself first. For example, you can test in a incognito tape first. Like it is like what the step of reproduce you are going to write. Those are actually working, and the vulnerability you believe like exist or like it is reproducible. Is it reproducible actually? So verify them by yourself first. After that, once you verified the vulnerabilities, when it's time to um, write a well-written report, keep it in your mind. The person that is reviewing your report, let's take an example of a Trizer on Bugcrowd may not have a prior knowledge. of website functionality and user flow, how website is working, where is the setting page, how to go to the settings, how to change the your name, or how to download the report if web application is having some sort of functionality like download client report or some maybe something else. So let's take an example about an vulnerability. If you found a vulnerability, injecting JavaScript payload into the first name field, and the your XSS payload is getting triggered. So it is a vulnerability and which is you are going to like report. So just do not write the report simply as basically what I have observed. Basically, these things is for professional because if you are working with a client and if you are reporting a vulnerability in a very general tone, like suppose go to the settings and change your first name with the JavaScript payload, then your client and the developers which are working for that particular application, they already know where is settings and where to change the first name field. Everything they know already. But especially if we are talking about bug bounty or bug crowd, who is like is reviewing your report, he is also visiting the website first. He might be visiting the website first. So, like we need to gain a clear vision, a crystal clear vision to them. Like as I was sharing with you, like let's suppose take an example of that JavaScript vulnerability, XSS vulnerability itself. So how clear reports look like. I will share some steps to reproduce. Like the first step should be look for the user icon at the top right hand corner of the your page. Click on it. Then the next step should be from the drop down menu, select My Profile section. Then scroll down to find the edit button and click on it. In the first name field, insert the JavaScript payload and provide the clear payload. And then the next step should be now click at the save button maybe. So these are the thing how clear reports look like. If someone is new for that particular website, then he will be having some sort of vision where to go, how to go. What should he change, and the payload also we which we are providing, what exactly input needs to be give over there. So a well-written report ensure that the reviewer can easily understand and replicate the vulnerability. In this increase the chance of acceptance and reward by following these steps. If everything goes well, then they will accept your vulnerability as a valid or maybe a unique vulnerability, and you will receive some reward. So in this, I was sharing about from the bug to bounty. If you found a vulnerability, so like first we have talked about the program selection. We'll talk about it later on. How to choose the right program, so let's jump to the another slide, which is how to kickstart your journey. If you are newcomer, then the best place is to start with VDP program, and I am hoping you are aware about it, vulnerability disclosure program. These programs allows you to identify vulnerabilities like without any competition with crowd. They will provide you just a hollow fame. So start with VDB programs, and as you are practicing and gaining some experience, your effort can earn hollow fame and recognition, which is a great way to build credibility. This can be eventually leads to some private invitations of bug bounty programs when the real opportunity begins. Once you have like built some confidence from VDP programs, um, then the like choose the right program. But the question is how to choose right program. Let me clarify this for you. Look for the program with more complex functionality. These are the like those are which is having diverse attack surface for you. Like let me take an example for you. A application with multiple user role, which involving upload functionality, involving multiple API endpoints, having different functionality like payment settings, and like moreover a dynamic application. So application with multiple user role can help you to discover some role-based access control related vulnerabilities, like privilege escalation or access control bypass. And when I was talking about API endpoint, that's also expose some vulnerabilities like insecure authentication or sensitive data exposure. You can have a look on the OWASP top 10 as well for APIs specifically. And some payment system also, you can change something like you can tamper with transaction details or exploiting some like it may be a discount coupon logic, or you can change the um, quantity of your product. Like moreover, it should be a dynamic application. Like over not it should not be a oversimplified application, which means static web application. A common mistake is starting with a static or overly simple web application. These might be easy to test, but you won't, it really won't give you the exposure actually because it is not having versatile or diverse attack surface. So like you will not learn, and this will rise a course. So instead focusing on static programs, choose dynamic programs like which all are having dynamic workflows and diverse functionality, diverse attack surface. So remember the goal actually. It's not about finding a critical vulnerability on the first day. It's to build your skill, gain some exposure, and gradually understanding how real world application works over the time. This is the approach will give you a strong fundamental and help you um, to stand out as a skilled bug bounty hunter. Let's jump to the another slide. This is the topic where I want to share chaining and escalation of vulnerabilities for like maximize the impact actually. And I will share a example with you about this. So let's imagine a small crack in a wall. Uh, alone it is not might not seem like a big deal. But what if the cracks connects to another weak spot? Together they can lead like to a collapse maybe. This is exactly how chaining vulnerability works. So, vulnerability chaining is when you combine multiple low severity vulnerability, merge them together, and they can create a powerful exploit. Let's take an example of an IDOR combining with API misconfiguration could lead to allow unauthorized access to sensitive data, or take an cross-site scripting paired with CSRF, which could lead for stealing sensitive cookies or stealing session cookies. So now let's talk about something escalation part. This is all about taking a single vulnerabilities and finding the way to amplify its impact. Think of it as digging deep into the vulnerabilities and discover some more impactful consequences. Those might be possible. Um, just take an example of an simple open redirect vulnerability, which can be escalated to a reflected accesses. And I believe you have aware about the open redirect are generally classified as low severity. While reflected excesses is considered medium severity according to Bugcrowd VRT, so you will have a good bite. If you are reporting a if you are reporting a reflected excesses, insist of an open redirect. So, chaining and escalation is required a deeper understanding. Um, how application are working, how vulnerability is working actually. They are not just about the finding bugs. They are about understanding how different vulnerabilities interact and affect together. So let me share a folder with you guys. As we was talking about escalation of vulnerabilities, and if you are remembered, I was talking about the out of scope section. So I want to share a scenario where um, for better explanation, those things like which I was talking about. As you know, the out of section is just a list of things um, which you cannot submit as a vulnerability in that particular program. So I have a screenshot with me. If you are able to see, this is the out of um, scope vulnerability list. So as you can see, open redirect is out of scope. So no one will look for the open redirect. Like let's suppose when I notice this open redirect marked as out of scope, now most people would see this and move on. And what next? They will overlook this open redirect or they will not find for the open redirect. Now, the most people, like most of you, will overlook. But a thought struck me. What if I could escalate an open redirect into something more impactful or something more interesting, maybe? Like reflected accesses. So then I opened the program website and started for searching question mark redirect parameters. So my simple approach was for finding a redirect parameter. I logged in into the web application, go to my profile section, then I copy my profile endpoint and open it in incognito tab for observe how the application behave. As sure enough, I found a redirect parameter in URL to confirm the test. I insert being.com just right after the redirect parameter. So what next? And guess what? I got redirect to the another web application which was being.com. So as we plan, I move on the escalation, and as you know, we cannot report this open redirect because it was in out of section, like out of scope. So then I tested for reflected accesses using the simple payload which looks like JavaScript colon alert. So and guess what? I was not lucky enough. So as I expected actually, I got blocked by by the firewall. So now I started analyzing the firewall, how firewall is blocking me. So let's deep dive into it. Then I remove the alert word from these payload and press enter. That for analyzing our firewall is blocking me on that because of that particular word, that specific word, but not. I was still blocked. Then I tried different things like removing and adding things, so on. I added extra alphabet in JavaScript itself, like this one. So as you can see, I insert extra alphabets in JavaScript word itself. So um, now the website got open and it did not block me. So I realized it is blocking me because of their JavaScript word. It should be the VFA, like web should be having some sort of file listing, and he is checking if that particular word. So what I have did next, like in this scenario, I crafted another payload by adding some encoding characters like this, percentage 0D, percentage 0A, in between JavaScript word itself. So now the web did not catch it, but the browser executed and accesses got triggered. Then I report these reflected accesses, and since the Bugcrowd VRT classified reflected accesses as a P3, I was rewarded accordingly. And do you know what? What even better actually? The entire process from reading out of scope to bypass it hardly took 5 to 10 minutes. And as you can see, the next picture, the access reflected accesses were working. So let's go to this slide again. Yeah. So here we are for the next slide. So now this time to take a few vulnerability POC which I like recently find. Today I want to take you behind the scenes of some of my recent finding, which is SQL injection, SSRF, and information disclosure vulnerability. Um, like, like just explaining these concept, I will walk you through the actual steps I took to discover and exploit these vulnerabilities. For crafting payload to bypass the validations, I will demonstrate each vulnerability step by step, starting with the problem, then solving how to analyze it, and the explaining the technique I use to for maybe exploit or bypass. It's turn to go to next slide, which is the SQL vulnerabilities. So, like I want to share a scenario with you all where I found a SQL injection into a application. So, I was testing a web application and noticed during recon that it was using PHP and running on a relational database. So, as you can see, this leads to me focus on testing for SQL injection. As PHP application often use SQL queries to interact with database, I started hunting for common SQL injection types. Like how I start first. So first I was identifying the parameter. Like while navigating the application, I found a get parameter called under ID underscore PDID. This parameter seems to be fetching order details. It caught my attention because such parameters often interact directly with the database. Because of this, they can become a target for the SQL injection. Then I started manually testing for SQL injection. I started with some like error-based SQL injection and union-based SQL injection. For error-based SQL injection, my goal was like, what was my goal actually? To exploit the database error and see. Like that's why I have insert a payload. If you see this one 65 colon then and is equal to 1. So however like no error were displayed, likely because the application suspect the error or it is having like handling error. Then next I turned for the union based SQL injection using the union operator to fetch additional data from the other tables. So I tried with a basic payload, as you can see over here. My initial attempts was got failed as the application was protected by a firewall. I decided to analyze how firewall was blocking my payload. So I noticed it is filtering certain keywords and space um, which I am using in my payload. So bypass this restriction, I use temper techniques such as replacing space with comments. So then if you see my payload, this bypass the firewall basic filter and allow me to test further. Since error-based and basic union-based injection were blocked, so I tested for the Boolean blind SQL injection now, which relies on observation for suitable changes in the application response actually. So I crafted a payload as you can see over here 615 is equal to 615 and replacing the space with the comment. So this always evaluates as true. So the application behaves normally. Then I tried 6153 is equal to 6152. As you know, this always evaluates as false and application behaves change slightly. And like I have seen some kind of changes in the response. So that confirm that particular parameter was vulnerable. So once I confirmed the vulnerability, I moved to union-based SQL injection to extract the data. Initially, union-based injection attempts, I tried the simple payload, like 65 union, all select, and three times null. Then the application return an error, including the number of the column in the select statement. That did not match the original query. Then I continuously increasing the null until the payload got executed. So error was indicating at the right correct column. Found that nulls about it was about 38 times worked, which means the application returned a valid response without any error, confirming that original query which had 38 columns. By analyzing these response, I verified the injection was successful and data would be extracted. To save time and ensure the deeper testing, I jumped to the SQL map and based on my findings, I craft a command which you can see right here. So, like what I want to share, so it's not important to always analyze how the application responds. Identify how web application firewall is blocking your payloads and crafting the bypass payload is the key. So let's jump to the another slide, which is SSRF vulnerability. Have you ever wondered what happened when an application blindly trusts the URL provided by the user? What if I told you this trust could lead to direct access to internal system like an admin dashboard? Let me share my screen, and if you are interested, I can share my SQL POC, which was I was having with me. Yeah, that one. For reporting these SQL injection, I have crafted this particular POC, so we guys can have a look, a quick look on this. So as you can see, I used my final crafted command, and now I am looking for the request which is having that particular vulnerable endpoint. in the Bob suite. So I copied this request and use with SQL map. If you see right here, I saved this particular request in my system. Then I use this exec command for finding their database and extract some information. So yeah, I just forgot to share POC with you. So suddenly it got came into my mind. So yeah, I was sharing about SSRF. Yeah. So let me share an interesting SSRF I encountered while I was testing a web application. The application had a feature where user could fetch an image for their album by providing a URL. Sounds simple enough, right? So now, what came into my mind? SSRF. We can try for SSRF. So I'm going to share you the approach. What I did actually. So first I tested that particular field by entering by giving some URLs like the localhost IP, but it did not got work, which told me there was something kind of validation error in place. And then I tried providing a valid image URL. And such as like vps.com upload slash image slash test.png. Why I'm saying this? Then I knew the validation was checking for a valid image URL actually, and that was working perfectly. So next I intercept the request using Bob and modified the URL from the back, like I intercept the request in Bob suite, and now I was checking to injecting the localhost IP again. Still no success. This confirmed that the validation was happening on server side as well. This was not just the browser side. So at this point, I started digging deeper and noticed that the server required the URL which ends with .png. So I crafted a URL like http colon slash slash 127.0.0.1 slash admin slash question mark dot png, and then question mark dot png is something what which server was looking for. So when I submit this URL, it bypassed, and the validation trial like it bypassed the validation, and server side like access I was able to do. So um, the application lacked of proper URL validation and did not block me the request to initial IP. So actually what was happening right here, servers was required dot png at the last. That's why I tried with question mark dot png and it was working. And I was able to fetch the admin dashboard. If I will share the some screenshot with you guys, then that's how it was looking. So I tried with this crafted URL and I got some encoded value in the response. And if you will see, then it was like some admin dashboard. Let's jump to the another slide, which is how, yeah. Yeah, before I go further, I want to talk about something inside. So, when it's come to bug bounty hunting, it's important to look beyond the surface. What seems like a small vulnerability at first can sometimes leads to a much bigger vulnerability if you take time to dig deeper. For example, a error message might reveal something sensitive like server credential if you look closely. So another key point is pay attention on error messages. Many applications did not handle error properly. These messages can give you important clues about the insights of the application. So, and like I was chaining parameter, like what I want to share, trying changing parameters, removing fields, or sending unexpected inputs to see how the application reacts. Testing like this can help you to find hidden flaws or learn about the system, how system is working. Let's start with the next vulnerability, which was information disclosure, which leads to server credential leakage. So, for observing the application behavior, I started logging into the application with incorrect credential to test how it handles authentication error. While analyzing the authentication request endpoint, I noticed the request body contains few parameters. Out of curiosity, I removed auth underscore type parameter from the body and sent the modified request. By It was the required parameter, by the way. So by removing this parameter, I triaged an error because the error debugging was enabled. The server displayed the detailed error message was exposed. At that point, we had already found a vulnerability. However, reporting it in its current state would likely consider as low severity vulnerability. So I decided to take a closer look at the error message, and then I noticed something really very interesting. A pattern reassembling something colon something at the rate IP and then colon port. So it caught my attention because as we know at the rate symbol in URL used as part of syntax for embedded authentication credential in URL. Like for example, schema colon slash slash username colon password at the rate hostname then port. So when I noticed this string, I was sure this is the username and before the colon and after the colon it should be a password and the hostname was also there. By So I got the vulnerability and now the impact is high because we are able to fetch the server credential. So, by being curious and paying attention to details and trying different approach, you can find vulnerabilities. This approach makes all the difference, by the way. Like look beyond the surface, understanding the error message and experiment. So let's jump to the another slide, which was handling and rejection challenges. Yeah. Let's face it. Like nobody like rejection, whether it is in real life, or work or in a bug bounty hunting. So it can feel discouraging. But here is the thing, like rejection is natural. Like it's part of this journey, and learning to handle it effectively is what set successful bug bounty hunter apart. Like normalize the rejections. Did you know even the most of the experienced bug bounty hunter face rejections? A bug you report might be marked as informative or out of scope or even duplicate. This doesn't mean you have failed. Like it simply means there more to learn, or maybe it is a misunderstanding from Bugcrowd side as well. So, if you reported a vulnerability at Bugcrowd and it marked as like informative or out of scope, then handle this situation calmly. And you can politely request for clarification through the report itself. Like suppose if you have reported a vulnerability on a program and Bugcrowd team is marked as not applicable or might be out of scope. So there will be a section to like for requesting Bugcrowd to have another look about the state of the vulnerability. So you can request there and clarify and explain why you believe this is a unique issue and a valid one, providing some details, reasons, and supporting evidence to support your point. If it is truly unique and was overlooked from Bugcrowd will review it again and take the appropriate action. You don't need to leave this matter unresolved because for fear of reputational loss and suppose if you are talking in a non-professional way, then what they are going to do, they don't even look at your report. They will simply minus one your point. So it's happened. Let me share some of my snapshot of a conversation. Yeah, that's the communication which happened, like the same thing which happens with me as well. Like I was sharing previously, I reported a vulnerability and that was overlooked and marked not applicable. And I already know that was a overlook from their side, and so I raise a request for rechecking the duplicate state. Like I have submitted a request to response. So I give the clarification how this vulnerability is the different one, and then I give some polite comments over there like this. Then they looked again into the vulnerability and changed the state to new. Then they confirmed, and if you see they change the state to tries as well. They give some point after it, some reward. So yeah, it's happened. If you are handling this rejection or in very neutral way or in a very calm way, then no worries about the things. So let's jump to the another slide, which was tips for Backrot success actually. Here are some things which I want to share with you guys. In this particular slide, I will share some tips that can help you um, to success on Backrot. These aren't just generic trick. I am gaining from my experience. So first thing is keep an eye on new programs, private programs, and the announcement as well of the program. Like suppose it happens with me as well. Like suppose you found some multiple SQL injection and you are reported them. After that, they have marked SQL injection as out of scope. So you are moving further. You are not. You will be not submitting SQL injection. But suddenly, a announcement will come. Like the SQL injection will consider as a in scope item. So keep your eye on the programs and announcement, especially focus on the scope. The scope is the roadmap before starting on a point. Take the time and read it carefully and understanding what is allowed and what isn't. Focus on the endpoints and feature mentioned. Like remember always testing outside the scope wasn't just waste your time. It can lead for some rejection or some reputational loss as well. And another important thing is write detailed and clear report. As I mentioned in my previous slide, uh, how to write a detailed and clear report. A great report can be the difference between a reward and the rejection. Believe me, when you report a bug, be go through it and explain what the vulnerability and why it matter, and including clear step to reproduce. As I mentioned before, so yeah, success on Bugcrowd isn't just about technical skill. It's about strategy, patience, and focus. By following these steps, you will not only improve your result but also stand out as a reliable or professional bug bounty hunter. So I'm done from my side, and now it's time for some QA and session. So Alia.
Yeah, thank you, Jayesh, for such a detailed session. We look forward to applying your insights. Uh,
Mhm.
I can see one or two questions in the chat. Uh, could you take that up? One is
Yeah,
from
sure.
Neera.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Nirav. Can I elaborate in Hindi? Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Nirav, go ahead, please.
सर बेसिकली मैं पाइथन बैकएंड डेवलपर हूँ. सो
Mm-hmm.
कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि लाइक वन टाइम के यूजर डेटा इनपुट करता है, तो
Mm-hmm.
डेटा या फिर कुछ भी लाइक एक बार एंट्री करता है तो वो हमको बग दिखता है, बट जब सेकंड टाइम एंट्री करने जाता है तो समहाउ वो बग या जो एरर वो दिखता नहीं. सो ऐसे सिनेरियोस जब हम लोग रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं कर पा रहे, तो उसको कैसे
Mm-hmm.
डिफाइन किया जा सके.
Like I very frankly like I got your point but like not properly. So Nirav क्या आप एक बार और बता सकते हैं the same thing which you was feeling?
हाँ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैंने किसी वेबसाइट पे एक बग देखा. फर्स्ट टाइम
Mm-hmm.
मैंने वो देखा तो सिंपल मुझे ग्लिच या बग दिखा, बट
Mm-hmm.
सेकेंड टाइम मैं उसको अप्रोच कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे वो
Mm-hmm.
ग्लिच या बग नहीं दिख रहा है.
Okay, got your
तो
point properly. Yep. So yeah, Nirav, go ahead.
तो ऐसे सिनेरियो में उसको रिप्रोड्यूस कैसे किया जा सकता है.
नीरव द पॉइंट इज इन सिनेरियोज में क्या होता है ना कि जैसे कि सपोज करो कोई भी एक बग और वल्नरेबिलिटी को हम जब तक बग एंड वल्नरेबिलिटी नहीं बोल सकते तब तक कि कोई और इसको रिप्रोड्यूस ना कर पाए. In a sense, suppose I'm scrolling my own website and I encountered a bug, and this is not reproducible to the other side actually. So ऐसे ऐसे scenarios में basically क्या होता है ना कि कई बार कैशे रिलेटेड थिंग्स होती है हमारे साथ कि जो कैशे अच्छे से क्लियर नहीं होते हैं या हमको वो दिखता है जैसे कि समटाइम इज हैपेंस विद मी एज वेल. अगर हमने कोई वेबसाइट ओपन की तो वो जो सर्च बार है वो जहाँ होना चाहिए वहाँ नहीं दिखता है, कहीं और दिखता है, या वेब एप्लीकेशन का अलाइनमेंट पूरा बिगड़ जाता है. बट वंस यू रिफ्रेश द पेज इट्स कम अगेन इन अ फॉर्मेटेड वे. तो ऐसे जो बग्स है इनको आप इनकॉग्निटो टैब में या फिर कैशे क्लियर करके एक बार चेक करो. अगर वो रिप्रोड्यूस होते हैं देन ओनली इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम इनटू दीज. अगर वो कैशे क्लियर करने के बाद या इनकॉग्निटो टैब में रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं होते तो मूव ऑन, और इनको आप अपनी बैकलॉग में रख के कभी और चेक कर सकते हैं. होप यू गोट माय पॉइंट.
यस सर.
Thank you, Neerav. So I think there's one more question from Pavan Kumar.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jayesh. It was a wonderful session. Got to learn a lot from you. Could you share a memorable experience or the most interesting vulnerability that you have found during your bug bounty journey?
Yeah, Pawan, like that is the thing. Actually, I tried to cover in my slide actually. So that's why I shared like SQL injection vulnerabilities and the memorable moments when like suppose if I'm submitting a report, then I'm pretty sure this will be the unique one. On these bases only I am reporting the report. That's why like my accuracy is high. But sometimes it happens with me. Like recently, it's happening with me. I have reported a two-factor authentication bypass, and I got some comment from the bug crowd, like from the client side, like it is not applicable thing. But I'm pretty sure this is a vulnerability, and so the memorable moment is those when they are not accepting the vulnerability as a valid issue, but after some sort of clarification, if they are marking it new or triage or they are giving some sort of bounty, so that will add some memorable moments. And if I will talk about one of my memorable moment, so it was about it was like I got a vulnerability, my very first vulnerability, into a Dell website. It was a iframe, and so I was able to run my own website into the Dell website. So that was my first finding. and once I reported that, it was accepted as a valid issue. And by the way, while I report that particular issue, already 1,700 vulnerabilities got rewarded, which means after 1,700 vulnerability, my vulnerability stands as a unique in the Dell at the very first stage. So that was the best memorable moment for me, to be very honest, Pawan.
Got it, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Pawan. There's one question from Hemant Prabhu.
Hello.
Go
So
ahead.
so my question was, myself being a beginner in cybersecurity, should we depend on tools or like get started with tools or just move on while learning the bug bounty process? Like, I mean, while learning the bug bounty process, just with the flow, should we just learn the tools or just first learn the tools, then proceed with the bug bounty program? That was the question, sir.
Yeah, like Hemant, what I'm getting from your side, are tools is important for bug bounty or not? We need to spend some time to learn about the tools or not. So this is what Hemant I covered in my previous slide in my session actually. So you need no need to be master in every tool, but you need to have some understanding about the tools. Like you need to know the name and the work, or if I will talk about the capability. If you know the capability of a tool, like suppose let's take an example of a hash identifier command line tool. So if you encounter any hash and you are having into your mind, yeah, like hash identifier can help me to identify this particular hash. So you will go and check which hash is this. So in this way, tools will help you, but to be very frank, don't rely on the tool, because whatever program is there at the Bugcrowd or maybe in a hacker one, they are already going through some sort of automated testing and all. So it decrease the chance if you got some vulnerability from the automate scan, and if you will report those things. Um, to be very frank, we will like you will not got the bounty for that particular one. So tools are essential. For concluding my statements, tools are essential. Don't need to be master in every tool. Just know the name and the work tool can do. That's all.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, there is one question. So I have one
Uh-huh.
transitioning from non-paying programs to paying programs and building reputation on platforms.
So myself Devanshu, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I put up this question. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ऐसा था कि जनरल मेरे पास वीडीपी हॉल ऑफ फेम और वो सब है लाइक स्वैग्स और बट कैसा है कि जनरली ट्रांजिशन करना एक नॉन पेइंग
Mm-hmm.
प्रोग्राम से जो बस एक लेटर ऑफ अप्रिसिएशन या हॉल ऑफ फेम देने वाला है
Mm-hmm.
टू अ
Mm-hmm.
पेइंग प्रोग्राम जो एक्चुअली बग्स के लिए पे करने वाला है एंड रेपुटेशन
Mm-hmm.
बिल्ड होगा प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे लाइक बगक्राउड हैकर वन
Mm-hmm.
स्टैट्स जो हम P1 वॉरियर जैसे स्टैट्स हैं तो
Mm-hmm.
जनरली डिफिकल्टी फेस हो रही है कि
Mm-hmm.
उससे उस पर ट्रांजिशन करने को कि ये पहले से ही ऑलरेडी पब्लिक है इस पे बहुत कुछ हंट हो चुका होगा ऑलरेडी टेस्टेड है कुछ एक्सेप्ट होगा नहीं होगा तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में उस पर ट्रांजिशन करने में और एक्चुअली उस पर हंट करके रिवॉर्ड्स एंड रेपुटेशन अर्न करने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं
हाँ दिव्यांशु, तो व्हाट आई एम गेटिंग फ्रॉम यू कि आप जितना मैं अभी समझ पा रहा हूँ उसके अंदर आपने जो भी हॉल ऑफ फेम्स और रेपुटेशंस या जो भी लिए वो इन माय गेस दोज आर फ्रॉम द रिस्पॉन्सिबल डिस्क्लोजर प्रोग्राम्स, राइट? एम आई
यस
राइट?
यस यस
यस। या दैट्स व्हाई इट इज अ बिट टू ट्रांजिशन, क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, जब हम रिस्पॉन्सिबल डिस्क्लोजर प्रोग्राम्स पे जाते हैं ना, तो वहाँ पे क्राउड कम होता है। और अगर हम
हम्म
वहां पे हॉल ऑफ फेम और ये सब चीजें लेके डायरेक्ट स्विच करेंगे ना, दोज इनटू दोज प्रोग्राम, दे विल गिव अस रिवॉर्ड, तो वो थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा।
हम्म
इसीलिए हमें स्टेप बाय स्टेप चलना पड़ेगा। इन माय गेस, लाइक इन माय ओपिनियन, आपको अभी क्या करना चाहिए ना, आपकी नेक्स्ट स्टेप वर्कआउट पे जाके जो भी वीडीपी
हम्म
प्रोग्राम्स है ना, वहां पे अपना एक्सपीरियंस गेन करना चाहिए, सम लर्निंग्स करनी चाहिए अलोंग साइड, और वहां पे आप रिपोर्ट करें सबसे पहले। और
ठीक है
उसके अगर वहां पे आप कोई भी अगर एक भी सिंगल वनएबिलिटी, द फर्स्ट टारगेट शुड बी कि मेरे को एक वनएबिलिटी तो एटलीस्ट एक्सेप्ट करवानी करवानी है सबसे पहले।
हम्म
जब वीडीपी प्रोग्राम में एक वनएबिलिटी आपकी एक्सेप्ट हो जाए और दैट वाज योर गोल, फिर हम मूव कर सकते हैं उन प्रोग्राम्स पे जो कि हमको रिवॉर्ड देंगे, क्योंकि उससे
ठीक है,
हमको कॉन्फिडेंस भी आ जाएगा एंड द चांसेस फॉर द प्राइवेट इनविटेशन वो भी हो जाएंगी। तो दिस शुड बी योर नेक्स्ट स्टेप।
ठीक ठीक, ओके, थैंक यू।
Thank you, Divyanshu. It was a great question. I think it will be very helpful for rest of us as well.
Yeah.
Uh, there's one question from Monica. What's the most unexpected bug you have ever found, and how did you discover it?
Unexpected bug, if I will choose one, then it is my recent finding, which I was sharing with you guys. It was a 2FA bypass. So basically, when I went through with the program description, they have mentioned they have disabled the two-factor authentication functionality for a smooth login and setup. And so I logged in into one admin store, and I was checking for the another one, the another store admin. So once I went to the another store and put the right credential, two-factor authentication functionality was enabled right there. But my like I create my strategy before starting the program. Like I will find for some privilege escalation, because I have found so many SQL and SSRF and different vulnerabilities. So my goal was next finding some privilege escalation. But as I shared, when I was getting logging into the second store, a 2FA was there. 2FA was implemented. So I was not able to log in. So then I decided I will bypass this, and after this I will go for my further testing. So I did the bypass, and it was really very unexpected, because from the program brief also I got to know there was no 2FA got implemented. But that was a mess from their side, and in a single account they have implemented the 2FA, which was a challenging for me for test for privilege escalation. That's why I try to bypass that, and I have reported. So yeah, that was the vulnerability.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Monica. There's one question by Pritish Chandra. Are there any blogs, Telegram channels, or Discord servers to stay updated with all the recent developments in cybersecurity field? Or is there any platform where POCs are shared after being patched?
Yeah, like there are some resources are available, like H1. I am not remembering the exact website, but H1.noob something is there for the recent HackerOne disclosure reports. And for staying updated, you can follow some newsletter which is giving some bug bounty news tips. You can use Twitter for staying updated. You can go through some Microsoft blog as well for staying updated. And
Okay.
some GitHub repositories are there. So you can go through the GitHub repository, and they will provide you the list of disclosure vulnerabilities, where you can simply go and read the reports.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Pritish. Do you have any follow-up regarding this? Okay, I think that's it. There's one question by Anon.
All right. Hey, hi, Jayesh. I hope you are doing
Hi.
well.
Yeah.
Actually, I just wanted to know more about the setup we use for bug bounty. It's just like basically, I have just checked out your setup. As I can see, there is a Windows subsystem Linux. So
Mhm.
I think you are using only the Windows subsystem Linux. So it is the feasible for us for bug bounty, or does we use another system?
Like I believe WSL is a very strong tool, but once like suppose I use two system actually, when I am like hunting for some more technical vulnerabilities, some SQL injection, some RC, so I use Linux system. The dedicatedly on the base machine, there is a Linux, and if I am hunting for normal vulnerabilities and some out of curiosity, then I use Windows machine. So in my opinion, WSL is also a strong tool, but I suggest to use Linux-based system.
Okay, and what is the preferable tool that is in bug? You can say an ASAP or the you can say bug shoot. So, what is the feasible thing that we use for automated as well as manual?
Like, if you will give me an option in between choosing Burp Suit and OWASP app, then I will choose Burp Suit, to be very honest. Because
All
I am
right.
feeling Burp Suit is because I am having hands-on experience in Burp Suit actually, and like I am more familiarized with Burp Suit, and it is having automated scan and manual stuff I can do. There are some what to say extension sections are there. Like suppose if I encounter any challenges meanwhile my testing, then I can craft my own extension and implement those extension into my um, what to say testing. So it helps me a lot.
Understood. Basically, there is some more thing explaining that we have some payloads, let's say
Mm-hmm,
an PDF, which
mm-hmm,
has an encoded and decoded values over in PDF, and we are
mm-hmm,
exploiting PDF viewer. And there is a chances like Windows default Defender is blocking those files. So, what
mm-hmm.
are the chances though? How we can utilize this with the Windows?
Actually, Anon, I did not got your point properly. Can you explain me a bit more about it?
Yeah, okay, all right. I had just came across one of the thing that is I was exploiting a PDF viewer that is a CVE,
Mm-hmm,
and it was in the PDF viewer actually based in the website I was
mm-hmm,
exploiting and exploring. So I
mm-hmm,
was just exploring that, but when I had generated those PDF vulnerable PDF
mm-hmm,
from a
mm-hmm.
tool, and the PDF got blocked from the Windows Defender itself when it was generated. So that is what the
Right.
thing that I wanted to know, like how we use a sandbox environment or the RDP system or our own system.
Like, if you are doing this stuff, then I will recommend a sandbox environment for those kind of things because meanwhile you are testing for some malicious trojans, or like suppose if you are crafting a payload from a script and running direct into your system, then can cause for a big disaster. So I will give I will suggest to use these kind of stuff in your sandbox environment. And as you know, this is you are doing for the testing purpose only. So you can do in test like sandbox.
Yeah, what you recommend for the sandbox environment? That is what the main concern was, like doing in
Mhm.
the sandbox environment for the different system or the personal system that is with the WSL.
But yeah, you can do in VM box as well. Like you can download the virtual machine and you can run another Windows machine into the virtual box and do whatever stuff or whatever testing you want to do in VM.
Okay, all right,
This will
understood.
also
Thank
work.
you so much.
You no need to do the stuff in the another system. VM will work.
Basically, VMA will just utilize more of the resources from our physical system. That is what the concern was.
Yeah, that you need to check. You can increase the RAM, the code, and anything.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
No
because
worries. Thank you so
virtual.
much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take one more question for today. There's
Mhm,
one question by Yash. While testing for WAF bypass sometimes users
mhm,
get permanently blocked on website. How can we avoid
mhm.
that?
So, okay, yeah, yes, this is really very nice question. Yes, by the way. So, when WAF is blocking you, you need to check on which basis WAF is blocking you. Let's suppose an example, you are hunting for reflected accesses, and you have sent your repeat your request to the intruder, and you are generate the payload, and you are sending the request again and again and again. And after that, you have noticed you are permanently blocked and you will not be able to run the website so far. So what you can do, you can figure it out on which basis it is blocking you. Let's suppose if it is blocking you on the basis of IP, then you can switch your network and you can try. Like let's suppose if you are how to check this thing, that's what I'm sharing. Let's suppose if you are connected to a Wi-Fi network and after this stuff you got permanently blocked. So you what you can do for checking this, is it blocking from you on IP basis, then you can switch to your phone network and check it once. If it is blocking you on the IP base, then what you can do, you can um, download or set up the IP rotator tool in your Bob suite and can you can do this stuff. So basically, there is no exact formula to bypass the firewall, because it's all depend on the firewall, how it is working and how it is behaving. So bypass the firewall, we need to focus on the thing how firewall is blocking us. On those bases, we need to craft our strategy. That was the one of the strategy which I shared with you.
Okay, great. Yash, do you have a follow-up question or any doubt regarding that answer? No. So
Yeah.
I think that's a wrap for today.
Sorry,
Uh,
sorry to interrupt. Can I ask a question?
yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Go ahead.
Hi Jayesh, I'm Anant. I'm an automation QA, and recently, a friend shared some knowledge about the vulnerabilities like SQL injection and CSS and broken authentication, which has
Mhm.
got me really excited to explore the field further.
Mhm.
I'm also curious to know more about the cybersecurity and give it a kickstart. So, can you
Mhm.
please share some tips on how can I get started on this?
Yeah, actually, like as you are sharing, cybersecurity is a broader sector. It is not limited to some sort of vulnerabilities finding and all. Like cybersecurity is having a broader way. Like forensics are there, blue teaming is there, red teaming is there. And I, what I'm getting from your side, you as you are a automation engineer, then you can switch your. If you are willing to switch your career, then you can start in vulnerability hunting, like the bug bounty hunter or the cyber security specialist in a specific of red teaming or might be a penetration tester. So you are having already, as you are automation tester, you would have a good understanding of scripting, good understanding of bugs, good understanding of technical strategy. So yeah, you can start with learning few things related to OWASP top 10 to gain a better understanding what the vulnerability is. And apart from this, you can, after learning about the vulnerabilities, you can go through some POCs, some HackerOne reports, some YouTube, some lectures, some POCs. Yeah, just the way, this is the way how you can start.
Okay, thank you, Jayesh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's a wrap for today's Q&A. If
Mm-hmm.
you still have any questions, feel free to reach out to Jayesh on his LinkedIn and
Mm-hmm.
other social media handle. And once again, thank you everyone for joining in today. Thank you, Jayesh. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alia.
Yeah, I hope even you have enjoyed today's session because once we have a lot of Q&A coming in, so it means
Yeah.
that people enjoyed the session and people had questions to ask.
Yeah, I enjoy a lot actually. And when the Q&A session start, I got to know there are like audience which are curious and they put all the a good question in front of us, so other also can get help from their
Yeah,
question. So I
absolutely.
appreciate it. Yeah, and I also enjoy it.
Yeah, there's a lot of thank you messages in the chat by
Mhm,
Hemant, Saurabh, there's Monica, there's Anshu,
mhm,
there's John, Ankit, Sunil, and so many thank you messages from
mhm,
everyone. So thank you everyone for joining in today. It keeps us motivated. We'll get
mhm,
back next month with another session and
mhm.
hope you all to see you there.